Kid Davey here. I'm excited to show you how to make this sweet little booklet with a beaded spine. It's pretty simple construction. It's just got a simple running stitch through it and some beads on the spine, and it has about 12 pages, so you can take notes or draw some sketches in it. So the supplies that you'll need to make this book are the pages, which we'll be folding in half, and you'll make 6 of these, which are 5 3/4 inches by 3 1/2. That's 5 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then a cover page. This happens to be a piece of wallpaper, but you could just use cardstock. Here I photocopied onto cardstock. But you want the cover to be the same size as the pages, which is 5 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then for the stitching template, you'll need a piece of paper that's 1 inch by 3 1/2, or the same width as the booklet. And then you'll need some thread, about 20 inches of thread, as well as 10 beads. And so 2 beads for each one of the 5 little embellishments. And it's a good thing to test your beads and your thread and needles before you make the book by making sure that the head of the needle and the thread will pass through each one of the beads. The tools that you need to make this book are a ruler, an awl if you have one. If you don't, you can just use a chunky needle. Then you'll need 2 to 4 binder clips. If you don't have binder clips, you can just use paper clips. You'll need a pencil, an X-Acto knife, a pair of scissors, a bone folder if you have one. If you don't have a bone folder, you can just use the edge of your fingernail. And then a needle. And then if you have a little piece of foam core laying around, it's nice to use when we poke holes for the binding. So let's start with folding our pages in half. Once again, 5 3/4 by 3 1/2. But once you know how to make the book, you can have a booklet of any dimension. So we're going to fold them in half this way. And I'm going to use my bone folder to crease each one. So go ahead and fold your 6 pieces of paper. Now that I have all my pages folded in half, I'm going to nestle them together. And you'll see that once they're nestled together, that there are some pages whose edges stick out, and we're going to be trimming those. So I'm going to make sure that I have the pages nestled together as best as possible. I'm going to take my ruler and then my X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to trim to the page that's furthest in this way, so that the pages will all be the same width. So I'm just going to put my ruler right there. I'm going to press down as hard as I can, trying to make sure that that's parallel. And I'm going to slice through all the pages. There we go. Now the pages are all the same width. So I'm going to set aside my pages for now, and we're going to be working with our template, our stitching template, so we know where to stitch through the spine of the book. So your stitching template is 1 inch by 3 1/2 inches, and you need a ruler and your pencil. And we're going to be putting some little tick marks on this strip so we know where to stitch. So the first little tick mark that we're going to make is going to be 1/2 inch from the left edge. So 1/2 inch from the left edge. And then I'm going to be moving over 5/8 of an inch from there. So I'm just going to count 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put another tick mark. So we put the second mark. Now we're going to do a third and fourth and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's the fifth mark. So at 5/8 of an inch, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, tick mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, tick mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, tick mark, and that leaves a 1/2 inch on the end. So have a 1/2 inch from the end is our first, and then 5/8 of an inch of the 4 in between, and then a 1/2 inch left on the right hand side. So this is our punching guide, so we know where to punch the holes for the stitching. So I folded my cover in half, and I'm going to nestle the pages in the cover. And then I'm going to use my binder clips to hold the pages together. I'm just going to use 2 for this. Oh. Of course, I can't find another binder clip, so I'll just work with 1. And then I'm going to take my stitching guide and place it right into the fold of the book, the center of the book, and then I will also use my little piece of foam core and my awl, and I'm going to punch into the fold using the punching guide to show me where to punch those holes. So I'm just going to push all the way through. I'm going into the foam core. If you don't have foam core, that's okay. You can just punch into your work surface, your cutting mat. Okay, that one needs a little bit more strength to go through. And that's how you punch holes for your stitching. So now we're ready to stitch the beads to the spine of our book. So I've got a needle that I tested to make sure that it would go through the beads. I tied a chunky knot on the end there, and I've got my booklet. I have it clipped in 2 places, but you could clip it on all 4 pages if you want. We're going to start on the inside at the top and go through that first hole, pull the thread all the way through, come out on the outside. And then I think I want to put a yellow one on the bottom and a green one on the top. I'm going to pull that all the way down. And then I'm going to go back through just the yellow bead. I'm not going to go back through, whoops, it's hard to see, sorry. I'm going to go around the top of the green bead and back in through the yellow bead. And I'll be going back through the hole I went out of. Okay, and I'm pulling that all the way through. So you can see the beads stacked on top of each other there. Then I'm going to go through the next hole. I'm on the inside of the book. I'm going to go to the outside. And I'm going to gather my beads. 1 and 2. Pull those down to the spine. I'm going to go on the outside of the green one. I'm not going back through the green one. I'm just going to go back through the yellow one. And then back into the spine. Or the same hole, I should say, that I went through before. Oops, I got myself all funny. trouble there getting back through that hole. So the last part is just to tie a knot on the inside of your booklet, and that's it. I'll finish that later. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you have fun making lots of books. I think they make nice party favors, or a good place to write poetry or do some sketches or little watercolors. So have fun making your booklet with a beaded spine.